and let us all do we can to build a better future.
As you all know, there's been recent reports all over the media. A home intruder went inside Nancy Pelosi's house and assaulted her husband, Paul Pelosi. All the while, this intruder was saying, "Where's Nancy?" Now, the thing is, I've been kind of warning something like this was going to happen towards our politicians. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, for too long, we've seen our politicians enjoy, well, the simple life. They've been getting fat and rich, doing insider trading, ignoring the people. And let's face it, America clearly has a mental health problem. Okay. The country and the institutions and our leaders at the state and federal level have abandoned us. And for the most part, a lot of our politicians have been living safely in comfort. So, this home intruder, this is an article from NPR. Home intruder yelled, "Where's Nancy?" before attacking Pelosi's husband, source says. So, what happened? An intruder broke into House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's San Francisco home early Friday morning and violently assaulted her husband, Paul Pelosi. Same Paul Pelosi, who was also got away with drinking and driving. He was clearly past the limit, and he was given very special privileges. Again, the politicians live in a world that where the laws that affect us don't really apply to them. Who's recovering at a local hospital? San Francisco Police Chief William Scott told reporters that officers who responded to Pelosi's residence at 2:27 a.m. encountered an adult male and Mr. Pelosi both holding a hammer. The suspect, who identified as 40-year-old David DePepe, pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it. Our officers immediately tackled the suspect, disarmed him, took him into custody, requested emergency backup, rendered medical aid, Scott said, adding both DePepe and Pelosi were transported to a local hospital for treatment. A source briefed on the attack told NPR the assailant was searching for Speaker Pelosi and confronted her husband, shouting, "Where is Nancy? Where is Nancy?" Law enforcement is still investigating the attack. NPR has reviewed social media accounts from someone with the same name as the Pepe. They include, okay, so again, you'll get where I'm going with this story, because again, corporate media was quick to smear Jimmy Dore. Now, apparently, reading this article, I had to read this paragraph here twice. NPR has reviewed social media accounts from someone with the same name. So the clear word is someone. Now, again, the story will develop. This is someone with the same name. Is it the same person? Again, the story has to develop, but they include anti-Semitic tropes and also false claims about the 2020 election and the COVID vaccine. Law enforcement has not provided official information about any specific comments relating to Pelosi. So we're going to stop right here, because apparently now someone with that account, Laura Rosen, made an accusation towards Chicago's own Jimmy Dore. This is what, the umpteenth time that Jimmy Dore is getting smeared by the media on social media. Now, before I pull up Jimmy's tweet, I want to just read her tweet. Suspect in attack on Paul Pelosi seems to be a fan of seemingly pro-Putin, pro-Assad, YouTube conspiracy theorist named Jimmy Dore, and anti-Semitic. So, pro-Putin, pro-Assad, YouTube conspiracy theorist, and anti-Semitic. None of these things are true. These
Also,
are
it's a very poorly phrased sentence.
yeah, exactly. And plus the capital, the leading word is not capitalized. So I mean, come on. She's got to be better than that. But none of these are true. Jimmy Dore is not pro-Putin. He's not pro-Assad. He's anti-war. But I guess if you're anti-war, then I guess you're a fascist and a tyrant and a horrible right-wing Trumper. YouTube conspiracy theorist. I've been following Jimmy Dore, and I've known Jimmy Dore since 2016. I've interviewed him numerous times on my show. He has been very critical of the two-party neoliberal establishment, and of course the unchecked corruption and anti-Semitic. I guess being anti-apartheid to Israel's policies towards Palestine. I guess what that makes you anti-Semitic? No, it doesn't. All these statements that Laura Rosen just tweeted out is false. One of his recent posts says the war in Ukraine will make it easier for Jews to buy up the land, which, again, if you follow Jimmy Dore's show, he's not saying that. And whoever this person is who attacked Paul Pelosi and went to Nancy Pelosi's house has probably a parasocial relationship. Now, for those, Lauren, I think, can you enlighten our viewers and subscribers what a parasocial relationship is?
Essentially, a parasocial relationship is when a member of the public follows or closely aligns themselves with a member of the population in the public eye, usually a celebrity, and they believe that they have a strong tie to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they tend to believe that they are actually friends. Like maybe the celebrity has, retweeted them at some point, and so now that has tied them together. Now they are friends, and they essentially, so like, it happens a lot with YouTubers and like gamers and such, where the fans get like actually really emotionally invested in everything that they do, and they
Mhm.
think that the relationship is a actual equal friendly relationship.
Right. And so again, this is a screenshot, and the screenshot, it's I'm going to skip over it actually because it could probably get us flagged by YouTube. But the screenshot, it's not from Jimmy Dore's channel, but again, the way Laura Rosin is tweeting this out, it makes it seem like it is. It is it is an image and a video that makes no sense whatsoever and has nothing to relate to his Jimmy Dore. Then Laura Rosin then also goes on to tweet out. Same post has another pro-Putin propagandist, Jimmy Dore, blaming the West for Russia's war in Ukraine. Now, as we have talked about, clearly the military-industrial complex has a lot to gain with this ongoing war, this devastating conflict. And then the same this individual, Laura Rosin, decides to also throw in Tulsi Gabbard's name. Suspect on October 19th implored Trump to make Tulsi Gabbard his VP nominee. So, Trump, you need to make Tulsi your VP in 2024. The entire Democratic presidential candidacy in 2020, she was the only Democrat, yada, yada, yada. So, whoever this person is also seems to have a parasocial relationship with politicians and other people that they agree with. Now, the thing is, Laura Rosin, you have made comments and falsely blamed Jimmy Dore for something like this, for this attack, which again, he had nothing to do. This is again smearing somebody. This is something that Jimmy Dore is all too familiar with now. He has to deal with this 24/7 because corporate media has nothing better to do than to try and put the blame on somebody that they think they can go after. Ask TYT and Majority Report how that went for them because they failed all the time. So Jimmy Dore, hearing this, I confess, right after I blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, I engineered an attack on Pelosi's husband. We want to know where that rich ice cream is at. Yes, I'm very powerful. I'm surprised the establishment doesn't try being nicer to me since I'm controlling most things from my garage. Which kind of leads me to state, and I always wanted to do this. This is from the 1970s cartoon shows. Meanwhile, in the garage of doom, Jimmy Dore assembles his council of evil. There's Jimmy Dore, the Jagoff comedian pothead from Chicago, Tulsi Gabbard, Hardlands Media Crew, the Convo Couch, the RBN Network. What is their dastardly plan? Stopping unnecessary wars. And joining them too is Joe Rogan. He wants to convince everyone to eat elk meat. I mean, come on, folks. This is again so ridiculous. But this is the world we live in, where a comedian who's anti-war, anti-two-party, anti-corruption is now somehow being tied in to this person's uneducated statement, and it is an uneducated statement. So, Lauren, I want to get your comments on this, your thoughts, because how many times I lost count how many times the media has tried to attack Jimmy Dore. We've had individuals try and attack Jimmy Dore or anyone else that speaks out of being anti-war, and whoever this person is who attacked Pelosi and her husband is not there. And Jimmy Dore is not going to wake up one night out of the blue and say, "Oh, I got this evil plan." No, this person who attacked Pelosi and her husband is sick in the head.
Well, it sounds like it was like it wasn't necessarily a planned out attack either. It sounds like he broke in, potentially trying to find Nancy, who knows what he wanted to do to Nancy. And then Paul, trying to protect himself, had the hammer, which was then snagged from him, and he was beaten with it. like it doesn't sound, it sounds very rushed and sort of just ill thought out, if it was thought out at all, which I do find kind of interesting. I do wonder what his initial plan was. The fact that this other person is trying to just tie the attacker to Jimmy Dore. I just honestly, in any of the things that you sent me, any of the things I saw, I didn't see a lot of ties to Jimmy Dore from that person's social media anyway. So I don't know where she's necessarily pulling that information from, that suggestion. I mean, she's talking about Jimmy Dore's a conspiracy theorist. It's that's a little bit more conspiracy theorizing than anything I've heard from Jimmy. Just assuming that this guy is a fan or a follower of Jimmy Dore, and therefore,
what I think it is he maybe heard some things from Jimmy Dore's show, and in this person's mind, somehow thought, "Oh yeah, he agrees with me. This is what I need to hear." Because you have people who will have their biases, and they'll listen to one thing but ignore everything else, right?
yes,
And of course, Laura Rosin, who needs to do her homework better, should know that Jimmy Dore has never once changed. Shout out to RBN Network. They did a phenomenal job talking about Jimmy Dore and how he hasn't changed. He's always been consistent, and consistency is key in independent media. Being anti-war, being anti-corruption, Jimmy Dore has been a strong advocate for free speech, and it speaks truth to power. And this is the umpteenth time I've seen someone on social media smear Jimmy Dore because what? He doesn't follow the narrative. Like, if you want to watch lame news, or if you want to watch people who spew out talking points, go watch corporate media, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. Go watch TYT if you want to just eat garbage and just turn your brain off. But realize that we are in a corrupt system, and our politicians for a very long time have been sitting comfortably thinking that everything's okay. They've abandoned us. And through that abandonment, you're going to have people that are not well. But at no point in time have I ever heard or ever would imagine that I'd be living in a world where someone who is anti-war and anti-corruption is now somehow being tied to being pro-Putin, pro-Assad, conspiracy theorist, and anti-Semitic. This is madness and stupidity. To which I have to say to Laura Rosin, where's your proof? Where's your evidence? Where's your proof? Proof. The key word is proof. A 5-letter word. Proof. PROOF. So I'm just going to say this for myself. I stand with Jimmy Dore. This is the umpteenth time he's been smeared on social media. But man, Jimmy, I didn't know you were so powerful in your garage, man. Well done.
I wish I had a power seat like that for my garage.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Or orchestrate stuff like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, Jimmy Dore has the garage of doom. So there you go. All right. So I think as with one more thing too, Jimmy Dore, keep on doing what you got to do. Keep speaking truth to power, and never back down.